She told me he was an upgrade. Not sweeter, not more affectionate, just better. That word, vague but sharp, cut clean through everything I believed we had. She wasn't angry. She wasn't dramatic. Her tone was soft, steady, like she'd practiced it 100 times. We were sitting in the tiny café where we'd first met. I thought maybe she chose it for the memories, some small act of sentiment. Maybe even a chance to reconnect. But no. She brought me there to sever what was left between us, to say, in so many calm, practiced words, that I wasn't enough anymore. I didn't mean for this to happen, she said, stirring her coffee with slow, nervous motions. But it did, I replied, voice barely above a whisper. She nodded. He makes me feel alive. And that was the end of it, alive. As though I hadn't spent 2 years pouring my soul into making her feel loved, protected, seen. I walked out of that cafe in a daze, like I'd been dropped into a nightmare I couldn't shake. My feet carried me forward, but everything inside me was shattering. Her words kept repeating in my mind. He's better. Better how? Was he wealthier? More charming? Taller? Funnier? I never asked. Maybe I was afraid to know. Maybe part of me believed she was right. She moved on like it was nothing. A few weeks later, photos started appearing online, him with his arm around her waist, her glowing with a joy I never seemed to unlock. It felt like a cruel punchline, like I had been a bridge to something brighter, more valuable. And yeah, it broke me. For weeks, I barely touched food. My friends tried to lift me out of it, dragging me to bars, to late-night movies, doing anything to keep me from sinking into the pit of what-ifs. But no matter what we did, I came home to a silence that felt haunted. It wore her perfume. It slept on her side of the bed. She never reached out again. Not a single message. Not even a birthday text. Slowly, I stopped expecting one. So I turned inward. I began fixing myself, not to win her back, not for closure, but because I had to feel whole again. I hit the gym, took a few trips, got into photography. Eventually, I blocked her online. If she was happy, I told myself, I'd let her stay that way. Healing was messy, but over time, it started to work. I found peace in small things. The taste of morning coffee, the stillness of hiking alone, the sound of strangers laughing nearby. I started enjoying my own company again, something I hadn't realized I'd lost while trying to be everything to someone else. Then, nearly a year to the day, she messaged me. Can we talk? I stared at the screen for what felt like forever. My gut reaction was to ignore it. I didn't owe her anything, but curiosity, that old, dangerous whisper, got the better of me. We met again at the same cafe. Full circle. This time, she walked in slower. No confident stride, no bright smile, just hesitance and exhaustion. Her eyes looked tired. Her grin was brittle. Thanks for coming, she said softly. I gave a small nod. No words. I'm not here to justify anything, she began, voice shaky as she stirred her tea. I need to say this again. I waited. I thought he was better, she admitted, her voice cracking. But he wasn't. Not even close. I looked at her without blinking. He made everything feel like a thrill, like life was happening at full speed. But that fades. And what came after wasn't love. It was chaos. He lied. He cheated. And by the time I realized what I'd thrown away, you were gone. She reached for my hand across the table. I didn't move. I'm sorry, she whispered. I know I hurt you. I know I don't deserve another shot. I was selfish, but I think about you every day. And if there's even the smallest part of you that still feels something for me, please. Her voice dissolved into sobs. I should have felt triumphant, vindicated. She was the one who left me shattered. Now she was the one breaking. But all I felt was peace. Like the storm had passed, and I was above it now, breathing clean air. I stayed silent for a long while. Then I looked at her, truly looked at her. The girl who once said I was her whole world. The woman who left me for a spark. The person now asking for something she had destroyed. I'm not angry anymore, I said at last. But I'm not the man you walked away from either. She nodded, tears sliding silently down her cheeks. I loved you, I continued. God, I did. And for a long time, I hoped you'd come back, tell me it was all a mistake. But now that you're here, I see it clearly. What do you see? She asked, voice trembling. That I'm okay without you. She buried her face in her hands, shoulders trembling. I'm glad you found your truth, I added. But I don't want a second chance. I don't want a maybe this time. I want peace. And I've found it. We sat in silence. Not the awkward kind. Not the painful kind. Just stillness. Eventually, she stood, brushing tears from her cheeks. I wish you the best, she said. You too. She left without glancing back. And for the first time in ages, I didn't watch her go. I finished my coffee, stepped outside, and inhaled the crisp air like it was the first breath of freedom. She once told me he was better. But a year later, she returned in tears.